What does the phrase "Islam is a religion of peace" mean? We've heard a lot of people say that, and particularly we hear it after some of the most egregious, violent jihadi attacks. We heard it a lot in the media after September 11th. We heard it again after the 7/7 bombings in England. And of course, most recently, we heard it after the attacks in Paris and San Bernardino. From some of the people who are the highest up in our political structures, Obama, Holland, we hear the phrase said right when the violence happens. And that's kind of jarring to our system. Here's a very violent attack, and then people are saying Islam is a religion of peace. I actually understand where that desire comes from, and I actually resonate with it a bit, because what the politicians are doing is they're saying that we should have compassion towards Muslims. We shouldn't impute the violence that we see to the people who are our compatriots, our colleagues at work, our fellow citizens in our countries. And that is true. We shouldn't. The vast majority of Muslims are peaceful, loving people, and we need to remember that. Muslims are not Islam. But when we turn our eyes to Islam, what do we find? We find that the phrase "Islam is a religion of peace" is not said anywhere in the Quran. It's not said anywhere in the early Islamic traditions. In fact, the first time we hear it is in the 1920s, when people are starting to argue, after the fall of most Islamic powers in the world, that Muslims are peaceful people and Islam is inherently a religion of peace. It was a polemical term that was used, and it seems to be used like that even today. But that doesn't mean that the Muslims who say it don't mean it. I was raised in a Muslim home. My parents taught me to pray the 5 daily prayers, to recite the Quran regularly, and I loved Islam. And from a young age, I told people that Islam is a religion of peace, and I meant it with all sincerity. But when I started studying the traditions of the Quran and of Muhammad's life, I found that from the beginning, Islam had been a very violent religion. But what I want to point out is that that's not very different from most of us. We're all broken people, and God loves us anyway. And we should be willing to love all people no matter who they are or what background they come from.